It's Asara B'Tevis. We have to feel something today. How can we understand what's the perspective that will make us feel a little bit of Churban, and how can we make the fact that we're not eating, somewhat meaningful? So there's an incredible story with the Mezeritcher Maggid. A fellow once approached the Mezeritcher Maggid and he said to him, Rabbi, I don't understand something. You live in abject poverty. The Rebbe used to eat crusts of bread, that's all he could afford, and water. He says, and yet there's so many people that are so much less holy than you, and they live in opulence and extravagance, and they eat these beautiful meals. It's just not right, it's not fair. And the Mezeritcher Maggid said, I'd like to share with you a story. He says there was a fabulously wealthy fellow whose daughter got engaged, and the simcha was off the charts. In honor of the wedding, he decided, being that he was a kind person, not just to give his guests an amazing time, but also to take care of the entire city's poor. So he plastered the town with invitations. If you're one of those poor people, please, this is a personal invitation to my daughter's wedding. Come, there'll be special tables with even better food for you. The word spread like wildfire amongst the poor in that town and beyond. It was going to be a feast that they'd never forget. The wedding came and they showed up and the tables were set with such a spread. And everyone came to the chuppah, and the poor people particularly, their stomachs were growling. They knew they'd be treated to a feast they probably never had before. Sadly, during the chuppah, the kala collapsed and she was nifteris. And the joy went to ultimate sadness. It went from the highest of high to the lowest of low. Says the Mezeritcher Maggid, there were two distinct groups amongst the poor. There were those that said, listen, the food is here anyways. It's taka sad, it's tragic, it's beyond. But you think the father of the girl wants the food to go to waste? He paid for it anyways. Let's at least sit down. At least something good will come out of this whole thing. We'll fill up our tummies and we'll walk away somewhat taken care of. But there were others that said we can't bring ourselves to even put a morsel in our mouth. This is terrible. We passed away. All this food was supposed to be here for the rejoicing. Everything was supposed to be for the simcha. And now, and they walked away hungry. They couldn't partake. They couldn't even put a morsel in their mouth. Says the Mezeritcher Maggid, listen, most people in Klal Yisrael are not on this madrega, but I understand this world that the Rabbi Shalom had an incredible hay alma lebei dami. He had an incredible wedding, which was this world. And what happened was that the kala was nifteres, the Beis HaMikdash, which was the most amazing place for relationship with Hashem. The Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. And once the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, it's as if the kala died on the day of the wedding. With the Beis HaMikdash destroyed, and Rabbi Shalom still in mourning, I can't partake from the luxuries of this world. I can't eat from the Suda, so I subside on crusts of bread. However, even though we're not on the level of Mezeritcher Maggid, but a few days a year, Asara B'Tevis, when we think about the Churban, the beginning of the Churban, Shivasar B'Tammuz, Tisha B'Av, certain days when the Churban is front and foremost. On those days, we look at the Rebbe Shlomo's mourning for the death of his daughter, the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, and we can't bring ourselves to eat. That's the essence of the tainus. Today, we're not going to eat because we can't eat. We can't eat when we think about the fact that the Rebbe Shlomo's daughter was nifter, the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. Let's at least try to feel the void. Let's at least try to feel something. Because when Rebbe Shalom sees that we're being mishtatef in his tsar, maybe, perhaps, Rebbe Shalom will say enough tsar, and in Ritz Hashem, he'll rebuild Bayis Shlishi.